From the aquamarine waters of Georgian Bay in the south
to the quartzite ridges of the La Cloche Mountains in the north.
This is Killarney Provincial Park, a land of scenic lakes and breathtaking sunsets.
It is one of only 6 wilderness-class parks in the province and is considered by many to be the crown jewel of the Ontario park system.
Hi, I'm Wayne Jennings.
And I'm Brad Jennings.
Please join us on our journey through Killarney Provincial Park as we explore the backcountry.
Situated on the north shore of Lake Huron's Georgian Bay, Killarney Provincial Park may be only 40 kilometers away from the city of Sudbury, but a day spent paddling its scenic waterways will soon leave you to wonder if the outside world even exists. Its stunning landscape has long inspired adventurers and artists, including Group of 7 painter A.Y. Jackson, whose early conservation efforts ultimately led to the establishment of this area as a provincial park.
Killarney is a very special park, actually. It's one of the few parks that's designated as a wilderness class park. So what that designation means is that it's very well protected. It's a place that's unique for its wilderness qualities, and people come here to experience an area that's untouched. And also a lot of the features, the different landscape features that we have here, such as the La Cloche Mountains, that's a unique feature. It's La Cloche mountain range's quartz rock formation that you're surprised the first time you see it. I remember the first summer I came up here, coming out to George Lake and looking across at the La Cloche mountain range, and I was astounded. I had no idea this existed here, and I've come back every year ever since. It's a beautiful place.
And that beauty is what has drawn Wayne and Brad back to this place, year after year, in what has become an annual father and son tradition. Now, you may think that a 5-day trek through the Canadian wilderness requires a high level of training and lots of specialized, expensive equipment. But the simple truth is that anyone can do a backcountry trip like this. You don't have to be an athlete, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. What is required is a spirit of adventure, a healthy level of physical fitness, and most importantly, you've got to do some pre-planning. One of the best sources for canoe routes can be found in this guidebook, published by the Friends of Killarney Park. Within its pages, you'll find dozens of suggested routes, as well as information on trip planning and wilderness skills. Along with the book, they also publish a highly detailed map of the park. If you prefer a more personal approach, then you just can't beat the services of a local outfitter. A few kilometers from the park gate, we found Killarney Outfitters and dropped in to check them out.
Lots of people don't know that the park gets filled up quite quickly. So a mistake people make is booking their canoes and not having any sites yet. So we do offer a trip planning service for $45. We'll book your permits for you and plan a route. So if you don't have a map or know the area, it's handy to have us do it because we know the area, and if you're a strong paddler or not, we can plan a route specific to you. And so it's really important that, especially in Killarney, that you book your permits as soon as you can.
What type of equipment would you guys rent out from this outfitters?
We have everything. If you need a canoe, we have lots of different types of canoes. There's aluminum, Royal 8, which is ABS plastic, and the ultralight Kevlar. Aluminums are good if you're just going out on the lake for the day and not doing any portaging, because they are quite heavy, but they're very stable. The ABS plastic are the mid-range. They're about 59 pounds, so they're still a little heavy, so they're not great for a long backcountry trip. That's where the ultralight Kevlar come in handy. Our lightest one is 16 foot and it's 39 pounds. So those are the choice to take if you're going on a longer trip.
So basically, what's included when you rent your canoe, gear-wise?
Well, you get all your safety equipment. You get a life jacket, a baler, which also has rope in it. You need 15 meters. So there's just rope in here, and then take the rope out, and that's your baler. And then a paddle that would fit you. We can do complete outfittings where we include your canoe or kayak, all your food, gear, camping equipment, cooking equipment, and anything you could possibly need.
Well, today we've left our canoes behind and we'll be doing a day-long hike to the top of Silver Peak.
This trek is an offshoot of the 100-kilometer La Cloche Silhouette Trail that encircles the park. Its close proximity to the campsites on David Lake makes this a very popular day hike with many canoeists. It's a fairly difficult trek with many steep and winding sections.
Oh, a little cool in the shade, huh?
Ah, no kidding, eh? Temperature difference. Watch the rock.
Yep. Watch those roots.
Yeah. We just gotta watch your footing.
Yeah.
It's the major thing, because these
Watch
rocks are
slippery here.
wet.
Slippery here.
The trail is well marked with blue arrows and neatly stacked piles of rocks to keep you from going astray. Make sure you bring along plenty of drinking water, wear a good pair of hiking boots, and allow yourself at least 5 or 6 hours to do this trip, because you'll definitely want to spend some time at the top enjoying the view. At an elevation of 539 meters, this is the highest point in the park. A lookout tower once stood on the summit, and from its vantage point, park rangers would scan the horizon in search of forest fires. Today, hikers enjoy a vista of quartzite ridges, sparkling lakes, and the distant shores of Georgian Bay.
Oh, it's beautiful up here. The view is awesome, and yeah, you get like a 360 view when you see all the lakes around here, and you just, I don't know, it's no words to describe it. It's really beautiful.
Killarney Provincial Park is an amazing park with all kinds of lakes to explore. The unfortunate thing is to get from one lake to the other, you have to carry all your gear. This we call a portage. First, you take all your packs over, then you got to go back and do it all over again with the canoe.
Yellow triangle-shaped signs mark the location of portages, but because of their small size, it sometimes takes a keen eye to spot them. Portages in Killarney can range from an easy 20 meters to a very challenging 3 kilometers in length, so a little bit of pre-planning will go a long way to ensure a successful carry. Size and weight of your equipment is a key factor here. Carefully choosing the smallest and lightest gear you can find will make things a lot easier when it comes time to strap that equipment onto your back.
Well, I can tell you from my own experience, there's a couple longer portages, and the beautiful thing, of course, with portages is the longer the portage, the farther away from everybody else you get.
According to the map, there's about 400 more meters.
Well, I think it's mostly downhill though.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad. It could be more narrow, and it could be hotter, or it could be raining.
Steep inclines, loose rocks, and tangled roots are all common obstacles on these trails, so wearing proper footwear is a must. Running shoes and open-toed sandals may be fine around the campsite, but they have no place out here. A sturdy, high-cut hiking boot will provide you with traction, stability, and good ankle support.
The longer the portage, the more effort you put into it, the bigger the reward at the other end. You will definitely not regret it. Maybe halfway through the portage you'll be thinking about that and wondering, but I promise you once you get out there, it's absolutely worthwhile.
After a long, hot day of canoeing and portaging, there's nothing quite like a swim in a cool, clear lake.
But as Wayne and Brad swim through the crystal clear waters of Nellie Lake, it soon becomes apparent that this body of water is lifeless, devoid of any aquatic plants or fish. It is an unfortunate reminder of the effects of acid rain. The damage began several decades ago as the result of air pollution from heavy industry. Once in the atmosphere, these pollutants eventually came back down to earth in the form of acid rain. The quartz geology of the area prevented the acid rain from being absorbed or buffered, thus accumulating in the many lakes within the park. The result? Water far too acidic to support life.
The smelters in Sudbury were putting out quite a lot of pollution that was coming and was contributing to quite a significant acid rain problem here in the park. But in the years that have followed, they've reduced that by over 90%. So we have far fewer emissions or pollution coming from the Sudbury area. Of course, we still have pollution coming from the southern Ontario and the northern states, but it's a lot less, and so the lakes are on a recovery track now. And George Lake has recovered quite well. It's not completely recovered, but it's an example of a lake that's recovered significantly. On the other end of things, you have Nellie Lake in the northern end of the park, and that's still very clear. If you head out there for a paddle, which I recommend that you do, it's a beautiful part of the park. Once you're paddling there, sometimes you feel like you're paddling in the clouds because it's so clear. It's just like it drops off right underneath your boat. You can see really, really far down, which is beautiful, but it does also mean that there's not a lot of life in the lake.
However, not all the lakes in Killarney share the same fate. Less than a kilometer away from Nellie Lake, on the other side of the imposing quartzite ridge, lies Murray Lake. Because the shoreline here contains rocks other than quartz, Murray Lake has been better able to deal with the acid rain problem. A rich and diverse aquatic system of plants, Turtles, frogs, and fish make this lake their home.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes even the weeds are worth catching.
There's a fish in there. Wow. What a prize and a half.
Whether it's landing that trophy-sized bass
Wow.
or enjoying the breathtaking view on a ridge-top hike, Killarney Provincial Park is truly an amazing backcountry destination that everyone should explore.
You should really plan ahead well, so plan out your meals and plan out all the equipment you need. And think of the person in your group that has the least experience and cater to them, because that person needs to be made. They need to have a positive first experience out there. So that means also planning a trip that's reasonable, you know, that caters to the needs of the different people in the group. If you've never done it before, the first time will absolutely get you hooked. I promise you'll want to go back, and you'll want to probably do a longer trip the next time, because it just wasn't long enough.
That's it from Killarney Provincial Park. Please join us next time as we explore the backcountry. Thanks, far you go.